It's a convergence of getting, one, the right people in the room, which, to be fair, hasn't changed. Okay, for years that's been the case. But it's getting the right people in the room. It's ensuring that the right people meet the right people, and that's new. And that will evolve as time goes on. In an environment where they can also be very socially active. Yeah. So these are absolutely critical. And on top of it, you're adding editorial content through the content here of absolutely critical voices for that individual industry sector. And that is how B2B events will change and evolve. And we hope that we're leading the field in that.
Joining me at the Speaker's Corner, powered by the New York Stock Exchange here at the Possible Conference, is Mark Shashoua. He is the CEO of Hyve. Mark, fantastic to have you here. Thanks for joining me at the Speaker's Corner.
Well, thank you, Judy. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Mark, Possible is a part of the Hyve family, actually. Tell me, what made Possible the right fit for Hyve?
Well, Possible, what we really focus on, and we're quite different than most other organizers. We're one of the larger organizers of B2B events in the world. However, we only really focus on key end markets, so key sectors, and the main event of its kind in each sector, or events that have the potential to be the main event of its kind. And that's what attracted us to Possible. It has a very similar style and structure to what we do in other events. So, for example, we run Shop Talk, we run Grocery Shop, we run Health, and Possible has the same dynamics. And that's very, very exciting. So they've captured like the core component of what matters, which is marketers of seniority. It is an event specifically for marketers. And they do it in a format that is engaging, critical voices. They bring, a terrific environment and experience, and then hopefully we can add quite a bit to it to help to scale it the right way.
Now, Mark, give us a quick look at Hyve's journey and how things have evolved since you stepped back in as CEO.
I would call it a complete and utter transformation of a business. So when I came back, it's a business that my family and I originally started. We had sold it in 1998, so a long time ago. But when I came back in 2017, this was a 100% emerging market business. It was running over 300 events in those different geographies, all to B2B, from construction to travel and tourism, you name it. But we were operating in Russia and Central Asia, in Turkey, in India, China, Southeast Asia. And I came back after transforming another business, but came back to really focus it on future-proof the company to largely exit the emerging markets and to focus on key end markets of future growth, right? So, and that's basically what we did. So we those 300 are now 25, but the average size per event is more than tenfold than what it used to be. So we're actually a bigger company with 25 events than we were through 300. And we have exited nearly every emerging market now, and we are solely focused on Western markets and global brands in sectors like e-commerce, which is Shop Talk, grocery, healthcare, marketing now, fintech, edtech. We run the largest edtech show in the world. So these are the sectors that we really focus on.
Now, speaking of growth, you recently launched Go27. Tell me, what's the vision behind this growth plan?
Well, Go stands for growth and optimization, which maybe doesn't sound as great as Go27. But anyway, the purpose of it is that we took the company private in 2023. We're backed by two terrific shareholders, Providence and Searchlight. And the aim of Go27 is to double the size of the group by really focusing on what matters. Yeah. So one is to really drive share of wallet. Yeah. So second is to drive customer retention, which is absolutely critical to any business. And the third is to expand the new sectors that we're involved with. But it's also not just that, but it's also to use the convergence that we're seeing across all of these different events that we're running. So most of our customers are companies like Google, you see Amazon here, you'll see Meta, you'll see Apple in many of our events, but they then operate across all of our events. And there's quite a significant convergence across that we're really focused on. So that's what.
Now, one-on-one meetings have been a key component of Possible. So how are one-on-one meetings changing the value of live events?
It's something that I've been obsessed about since I was a child. So I'm second generation. I learned this trade from my father. And I've been absolutely obsessed about the fact that if you think about what we do, I love what we do, and I love everything to do about events. However, there's something slightly illogical about what we do in the sense that we bring all the right people of different levels of seniority, from buyers to sellers to media to analysts to investors, startups, you name it, the entire ecosystem of an event we bring together once a year into an incredible place, whether it's somewhere like here or a convention hall. And for all intents and purposes, we wish them luck, right? We're hoping that the right person meets the right person. And the world has changed, right? And I've been waiting for a very long time to say there must be a better way to connect people in advance so that when they come to the event, they're absolutely maximizing their return on investment, but actually, even more importantly, their return on time. And that's what the meetings do. So we're facilitating in advance exactly the right buyer for a particular set, which is for here, it's the key CMO with the budget of who has the budget in order to make decisions for their solutions with the exact right solution provider that they want to meet for their particular company. They do this, plan it all in advance. They prepare for the meeting. They have a 15-minute slot. And lo and behold, we're driving our ROI and we're ROT for these customers.
And tell me, how are you using tech and data to deliver a better experience for attendees and partners?
Well, very much the essence of everything that we just talked about in terms of the connections. It is all based on the tech and the data, and the data that we're collecting from both sides, the buyer and the seller, and facilitating those connections at the meetings. But it's also more than that. So we run a show, for example, the largest ed tech show in the world is more of a trade fair than this. And I'll give you a great example. We do something called Tech User Labs, where Microsoft wants to be able to give user cases for teachers on how to use their software. Yeah. So we'll be able to pinpoint exactly who is the right grade of teacher that they want to reach. We'll be able to reach out to those teachers in advance to be able to promote exactly the time and the slot for Microsoft to be able to teach the teachers on how to use it well. And so we're using the tech and the data and collecting that in order to maximize the time and the value for Microsoft. So we call that Tech User Labs, and we're rolling out across all of our events.
And finally, Mark, tell me, what do you think the future of B2B events will look like?
I think you're seeing it here. Right? I think it's a convergence of getting the right people in the room, which, to be fair, hasn't changed. Okay, for years that's been the case. But it's getting the right people in the room. It's ensuring that the right people meet the right people, and that's new, and that will evolve as time goes on. In an environment where they can also be very socially active. Yeah. So these are absolutely critical. And on top of it, you're adding editorial content through the content here of absolutely critical voices for that individual industry sector. And that is how B2B events will change and evolve. And we hope that we're leading the field in that.
All right. Well, Mark, fantastic to talk with you. And thank you for welcoming the New York Stock Exchange to the Possible Conference. Great to be here.
Well, thanks very much. A pleasure.